Hi everyone, this is Amanda Rollins with Prairie Creek Seed with some information about when to plant cover crops and ideas of what to plant. So the ways that cover crops can be worked into a rotation are pretty endless. This video is going to cover some examples of windows to start working in cover crops to meet various soil health and even forage goals. These dates are planned using the season conditions of the upper Midwest, so some of the windows can be expanded or shortened based on your specific location. The pre-plant cool season window is generally early March to mid-April and can include frost seeding, broadcasting, and early drilling of cover crops. The types of cover crops seeded would be various cool season annuals. These cover crops can provide erosion control for soil health and to scavenge available nutrients for a spring-summer planted crop so that those nutrients aren't washed away and can be utilized. These cool seasons planted at this time could also serve as some early summer forage if you're looking to graze your cover crops. The next window is going to be early interseeding, and this would be seeding into standing corn in 30-inch rows around V3 to V6, which is usually mid-March to early June and can mean even smaller window depending on the year. It's very weather dependent for this window. Different species options are based on your seeding method. If you're broadcasting, smaller seeded options work better to establish on the surface. If you're able to drill or incorporate the seed, you can use larger seeded options that require being further in the ground. It's important to use species that are shade and heat tolerant since they'll be growing during the hot summer months under that corn canopy. And cover crops planted at this time can be grazed after harvest, and rotational grazing of these can provide forage through the fall and even in the winter. The next time for cover crops would be interseeding into wider corn rows or late interseeding into grain crops. So the goal of this cover crop window is similar to the early interseeding window, but it's larger for two reasons. One is when interseeding into wide rows, like the 60-inch spacing, the sunlight gets down to the cover crop for much longer compared to the 30-inch rows, but earlier is still better to get the most growth opportunity for the cover crop. The other reason is the late interseeding option into 30 or 60-inch rows towards the end of the season around black layer is a wider window of opportunity and should be gauged based on moisture available or upcoming rain, since the covers seeded at this time need adequate moisture to take off and grow as the corn crop dies down. The next window that we look at would be a cover crop after a small grain. So this window usually falls between July and August after small grains are harvested. And with so much of a growing season left after this, warm season annual covers are a really good option. This window is a great opportunity for a highly diverse mix that can create high quality forage or work as a great soil building mix when left to grow and break down over winter. After fall harvest, in the earlier time of the fall, would be this window, and it's meant to fit after any kind of fall harvest that happens earlier, like before September 15th. This could be a later small grain harvest, corn silage harvest, or a warm season annual harvest as forage. And cool season annuals are generally most effective at this time with the temperature and growing season we have remaining. The covers can serve to build soil, fix nitrogen, or provide fall and winter forage. And September 15th is where we mark the cutoff for diversity in most of the upper Midwest. After that, the amount of growing season left doesn't always make it worth it to seed certain cover crops like the clovers and brassicas. At that point, we would mainly be looking at winter annual small grains. And that is our next window. So the post-harvest late is after the cutoff for diversity and usually falls after the harvest of cash crops like corn and soybeans in this area. Winter annuals like wheat, triticale, and cereal rye are the most reliable to be planted this time of year. Winter wheat has to be planted earliest in this window based on your specific location and has the latest maturity in the spring. The winter triticale has similar planting date requirements of wheat and is earlier maturing than wheat in the spring. Triticale does have the high forage quality of wheat and the disease resistance and hardiness of cereal rye as it's a cross of the two. And cereal rye is the hardiest winter annual we've seen and can be planted all throughout this cover crop window. Studio Rye has the earliest maturity in the spring and will be the first thing to green up for you. So that was kind of a rundown of the different cover crop windows that we specify. There are many others and a lot of different ways that cover crops can be worked in a rotation, so feel free to comment some additional ideas below or let us know any questions that you have on this. Thanks for watching.